I don't want you to look at me. My hair looks stupid. I don't want you to see. In 2010, a lot of folks were telling tales of a sick, depraved little movie called Human Centipede. But you horror nuts, sickos, and gorehounds knew there was so much more out there than just a couple hot chicks crawling around ass to mouth with an angry Asian. While everyone was praising that pile of mediocrity, we were more interested in this new little gem we heard about in the country of Serbia, a country that is little known for its movie productions. In fact, the country makes so few films that calling this little horror gem a Serbian film seemed rational. A Serbian film quickly gained popularity under the expectancy that it would not only be one of the most aggressively vile films of all time, but unlike much other extreme transgressive cinema, it would offer top-notch acting, cinematography, and just overall production value. Of course, this piqued the interest of a lot of people, but it wasn't an easy film to come by. One would have to order it online. On purpose, which makes many criticisms I hear all the more puzzling. Serbian film isn't sick enough. When something's advertised as being the ultimate of anything, there's always gonna be cynics that refuse to accept it for how it's advertised. If I said, I'm gonna tell you the funniest joke you've ever heard, chances are you wouldn't laugh at the joke, even if it was hysterical, because making such bold claims gets people's guards up. Serbian film does exactly what it promises, bluntly and explicitly depicting taboos that little to no films have done before. It is difficult to measure the level of disturbance because it's all relative to the viewer. For instance, I thought Sela was a little more disturbing, portraying an alternate reality in which human degradation becomes the norm, to the point where the fiendish actions of the characters are almost done in a tender way. Serbian film uses blunt force satire to tackle these frightening issues. That kind of attitude in itself may disturb the viewer, while tunneling through the dark and at times surreal visuals. Serbian film doesn't have a message. When the director, whose name is this, announced that this film was not made for the sole purpose of shock and has a deeper meaning, people were all, "No, this film is gross. It doesn't have a deeper meaning cause it's grody." And while it's understandable that the average viewer can't get past the brutal surface of films like a Serbian film, dismissing a film's depth because something grosses you out just ain't fair. When you break through the grotesque imagery, what you have is a story of a father down on his luck, who is pushing himself to new limits to keep his family in financial comfort. As he continues, he is increasingly exploited by his employer. Sounds relatable, no? With his background in porn, he struggles to explain sex to his adolescent son in an innocent light, especially while the world around him sinks to new depths of depravity. The message of family values, exploitation of workers, art, entertainment, and let's face it, the things depicted in a Serbian film can and do sometimes happen. The message is objective, but why is it so important to you that this film has one? I'm willing to bet you don't worry about the deep underlying meaning of most of the films you watch. It's not art! It's not art! It's not art! My good old buddy Marcel Duchamp once taught me that anything presented as art is in fact art, rendering the question of whether or not something is art stupid. Seriously, it's a stupid question. The question should never be, is it art? The question should be, does it speak to me? Does it achieve the artist's intentions? Or even something as simple as, is it good? I'll just touch upon the second one. In my mind, the director, whose name is this, wanted to create visuals that stuck with us, to create fear and distrust in the world around us, reminding us that there are nefarious actions done to humans by humans that we all turn a blind eye to. Judging by the reactions of people, I'd say he at least attained a niche permanently carved into your head. Isn't the simulation the art? You know, the ability to throw corn syrup on an actor and, through expert film direction, make you feel like you just witnessed a murder? Isn't that in itself an art? Personally, I don't believe that a Serbian film fetishizes the perversions it depicts. Unlike Japanese pink films or many sexploitation films, it uses deviance as a weapon to cut into the viewer's mind, not leaving the viewer aroused but repulsed and frightened. Moreover, from the outstanding performances from the actors who put their careers on the line to the masterful cinematography, it was clear that the filmmakers took this work seriously. Of course, a Serbian film might be seen by the wrong person, fanning the flames of psychosis and triggering the dark passenger. But That can happen with anything. Remember, the Beatles stimulated Charles Manson's thirst for blood. Not Herschel Gordon Lewis films, not the writings of Marquis de Sade, but the Beatles. It sucked. Well, not much I could say about that one, because it's not really an argument. So I'll close out with this thought. A Serbian film is a very avoidable film. For you to have seen it, you must have gone out of your way to seek it out. And I'm guessing you did so because of the promise that it would be a sick, deranged little movie. Well, wasn't it? What did you want from it? What did you expect? Are there complaints I'm missing? Maybe you just thought it would have been a stronger film if they didn't shower us in silly death scenes or assault us with practical effects. Or maybe the surrealism didn't match the reality of the subject matter. There are plenty of legitimate reasons to not love this movie. But I can't quite understand why it disappointed so many people. It seemed to me to deliver everything it promised and a little more. And if you're one of those people who are just spouting hate on this movie that you've never seen, well just stop. Just stop.
I don't want you to look at me. My hair looks stupid. I don't want you to see.